implying other means. I told you about the plate tectonic movement, and I also told you about volcanic activities. Why are you going back to drill holes?
Okay, yeah, for the record, I don't disagree that as you go deeper into the earth, it gets superiorly hotter as you go deeper. I agree to that. Now, as to why that happens, all we can do is speculate because no humans ever went beyond the point I've shown. Now, say for instance, some religious people, some Christians might claim that hell is down there. Maybe that's why it is, so hot down there. Others might say, lava might be down there, magma. Again, these are all good guesses, but to say that we know for 100% fact what's in the core of the earth, that would just be speculation because we've never been there. So to say we know for sure on any side of the argument, flat Earth, globe Earth,
Hell is
triangle
a
Earth,
good guess.
you don't know. And to pretend you know,
Yes, we know. We know.
Hell is a good
We
guess.
know.
That's in the
We know.
center of the earth.
Hold on. That's
Just
what I'm
because I want
asking.
to conversate
Your
with you.
level in science is very poor because if you know anything about magnets, you will know that hell is not in the earth. It's molten. It's literally a molten core of iron, nickel, and the iron, nickel, gold, lead, and some of the heaviest
did I
elements
break a rule or
that you're
something
gonna
just so I
find.
know? Did I break a rule
No,
because
I'm
I got
telling you.
removed?
No.
Hold on, I'm just asking because I got removed, so I didn't know if I did a
Check,
violation or
check.
something.
We have to explain. Am I obligated to explain why you got removed out the panel? Is it mandatory?
Like there are rocks that been that there are minerals that crystallize at different time when the earth magnetic field is actually slightly pointing in directions. And each time these crystals, these mineral crystallize, the direction of the magnetic field, each mineral in the crystal is a geologist can use to date rocks based on what was going on at the time with the earth magnetic field and the direction. Of of how these rocks are crystallized. Also, if you did not have a magnetic field, it would be impossible for you to make magnets on the earth. As soon as you make a magnet, that magnet would have just went a wire. You would have been demagnetized. Or as soon as you bring that magnet close to the magnet, that magnet would have been demagnetized or copy the larger magnetic field. The reason why none of that happened on Earth is because the Earth itself has the greatest magnetic field. So once you're on Earth, every single thing that has magnetic property has to obey the magnetic field of the Earth. That's literally how you make a magnet. You
Can I comment
magnetize
now?
it. That's like we use compass. If geologists was wrong, your compass wouldn't work.
Okay, can I comment on that? Have you ever heard of something
You have
called
a choice.
can I comment on
Are you
that? Are
gonna
you
ask
finished?
the question and then do it anyway?
Bro, we don't
He's
have to
doing
be
what
disrespectful.
every
I'm just
pseudo
making sure
do.
you're
He's doing
finished. I'm just making sure.
I didn't know I had to do so much fucking work to get it going. But
Typical pseudo, trying to do the got you moment.
What the hell am I going through all this shit for? You back in the lab,
No, I'm on the road this morning. Yeah, that's why I wasn't on last night.
Yeah, it's a little too much shit, Nathan. You just come and just.
how far you going out?
I'm going up to Ottawa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit too early for this shit, Nathan.
It's like maybe like 300 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to play the got you moment, typical Abos.
Bro, I'm answering the question. I politely just, if you're done, so I can go on to answer. I don't know what I did wrong there. I just asked if you're finished politely, so I can respond. That's all I did. So in response to about the magnetism, right? I was going to bring up there's something called the curing point, and what that is basically when you melt a magnet, it no longer attracts magnetic things to it, right? So hypothetically, if the core of the Earth is magma and all this molten metal and all this, well, it wouldn't attract things to it because of the curing point.
The Earth.
Are you familiar
not-
with that, the scientific term?
Yeah. Every magnet have a heating point that when you heat it over that point, then the atoms become unstable and they loses that magnetic field. Magnetism is just electron in an atom aligning in the same direction. That's all the magnetism is. The Earth is not permanent magnet. I'm explaining it to you.
Okay.
I'm going to explain it to you. The Earth is not a permanent magnet. That is why you're able to pick up a piece of metal that is on the surface of the Earth. It's not a permanent magnet. The Earth possesses electromagnetic properties, and that special property that it possesses tells the motion of the Earth It also tells the composition of the core, and it also tells that it is electrically charged. The only reason that could be happening is if you have hot molten iron that is turning around. It's in motion. Hot molten iron that's it's like a plasma that is in motion, that's electrically charged. And that is why we have the Earth magnetic field. It's an electromagnetic field That is why we know it would be impossible for the Earth to be flat and stationary, because on a flat stationary surface, you would not have electromagnetic properties, hence a magnetic field. You could take it from there.
Okay. Could I ask you this? Would we agree that like the core of the Earth is that hotter than like how we could get a magnet to the curing point, like up here on the surface? Would you agree it's like hotter in like the core of the Earth than up here? I think we could agree on that, correct?
Mhm.
Oh, you said yes? Didn't hear you.
Say it, if I'm gonna agree
Okay.
or disagree.
Okay, I'll say it again. What I asked is, would you agree with me that the core of the Earth, right, in the heliocentric model, it would be hotter than any cure point that we could get a magnet to up here?
We can reach temperature with a Hadron Collider. We can reach temperature like rapidly, even surpassing the core of the sun. So no, but I get
Core
what
of
you're
the sun.
saying. I get what you're saying, that the core of the Earth is really hot and it would demagnetize any magnet that's any magnetic elements that's in the Earth. I get it, but again,
Okay, but
it's not
how do you
permanent
know?
magnet.
How
It's
do you know what the
electro
core of the sun is, though? Like how do you know that? No, first of all, nobody can even approach the sun. So how do we know what the core of the sun is? Like how hot it is? How do we know that?
because we know what's going on. It's fusing hydrogen and helium, and depending on the size of the sun, it could be fusing other elements like lithium, carbon, oxygen. But yeah,
Well,
we know what's in it. We know that we
well,
know
wouldn't you
the
call
most
that a theory,
abundant.
though?
No, it's not a theory. We know that we see the most abundant elements in the universe. We've seen how gravity affects elements in comparison to size. Like we know, we've seen like the radiation from the hydrogen and the helium. We know how hydrogen and helium look when it burns. We can burn hydrogen and helium here on Earth and observe it using instrument, and then look at the sun and observe the same thing, see the same frequencies that being produced from these elements being burning, and you observe
Okay.
them under a
o- o-
spectrometer.
Okay, but real quick, but my point, like say for instance, right? Like they claim that we can fit. Some scientists say we can fit 1,000,000 Earths inside the sun. Others say 100 Earth. Like if you were to take an Earth and put it inside the sun, it would take like 100 Earths to fill the sun. So huge as they claim, how could we, as supposedly as insignificant as we are, according to modern science and the evolution theory, how do we know what's in the center of this, the core of the sun? It seems like all a bunch of science fiction to me.
No, because science
And I think you're just
is,
repeating this stuff because you were told in school that that's why you're repeating it.
Oh, he getting at you again, man.
well, science.
Okay, but
Science,
how does knowing the core of the
science,
sun better for you though?
science is the study of the natural universe. Study of the natural universe, not the supernatural.
about already. But yeah, so probably tomorrow I will be making actually let's check things. So yeah, look for your like emails, Facebook, and um, there's
Train 536 headed to Sacramento, stand clear, the doors are closing.
for sure, for sure.